All right, welcome back, everyone. Second part of the podcast today, Monday, February 12th, 2024, MMAOB Daily Podcast. We're going to be previewing UFC 298, Volkanovski versus Topuria. We got 12 fights in this card. Looking forward to it. Just wanted to give a shout out to our boy, Fight Talk Only, for the artwork as always. Got it behind me right here, Marcel, if you can see it. UFC 298 preview. Guy always hooks us up with the artwork, so we appreciate you, brother. Wanted to give you a shout out as always. I don't know if you're going to be in the chat today, but wanted to give you a shout out, man. I hope you can hear this. Let's get some comments, Marcel, and we'll start the preview. So we got Glenn. He said he saw the promo for 298, and it's skipping the Garry fight. Why? No idea why it's above that Dvalishvili fight in the card. Yes, I don't know. I'm not sure. Did you see that promo too? You might have seen it, eh?
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either. Cycleptons, what's up, man? West Coast is here. This is the guy in the wheelchair that was joking about the sex thing last week. This guy's so funny, man. He's a joker. Glad to have you, brother.
I kind of missed the guy calling us out. We have the main event wrong in the last podcast, so...
oh yeah, I know, right? Where's that guy? You know, it's because my picks have been so fucking good this year, except for the main event last week. That wasn't very good. But we got Jamie in the chat. What's up, brother? Long time listener here. UFC 298 preview, man. I say we get into it, Marcel. Why waste any time, right?
Yeah, that's what she said. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Why waste time, man? So we got Mr. 30 Seconds here, Marcel, kicking off the card. No, I'm kidding. Let's your overall thoughts. I always ask you this, but your overall thoughts on UFC 298.
I think the pay-per-view is really good. You know, I think pay-per-views are really good. I think the prelims are okay and not amazing, you know, but there are some good fights on it. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. It's a good card, you know. I think the pay-per-views are really good, which are coming up. So, yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think the card's pretty good. The pay-per-view is amazing. Like, let's be honest, the 5 fights at the top. And even some of the prelims on TV are good, but overall the prelims are a little weaker, but that's okay. I mean, like the main card's really stacked on this event, and it's what you want to see, right? I think the next couple events, the pay-per-view events, the main cards are really stacked, and 300, like 299, 300 are just. We don't have the main event for 300, but like the main card and the prelims of both those cards, 299, 300 are really stacked from what we've seen. So, just a couple other comments. Pato likes the card. Joe likes the card. Craig, what's up, brother? Glad you have you here. I did see this, Jamie, with Cejudo firing Eric Alvarez. Kind of crazy did it on camera. I mean, I think they must have talked about it beforehand, though. Because what do you think about that?
It better. I said it on James's podcast earlier today. It better be a skit or it's just a dick move. You know what I mean? So it was really weird. You know, it's kind of like, do you want to be like a fighter or do you want to be like a content creator on Instagram or whatever? You know, it's just really weird. You know, I know.
And that guy's been with him his whole career, Captain Eric, right? So
exactly.
Like that's kind of it is kind of a bitch move, but again, I still feel like they've talked about it before because his reaction wasn't too bad there. You know what I mean? Like he didn't freak out about it. Like you imagine he would. Like,
but why would you do that? You know,
I know that'd be like if I like got you on camera or something. I'm like, Marcel, you know, we've had a lot of fun together, but I'm firing you from the podcast. Like, it's just it would just be odd, you know.
Yeah, Marcel, we came too close of friends in the podcast. I cannot be a serious podcast anymore with you. I think we let you go. Huh?
Yeah, it was really. I mean, the guy won 2 belts with the dude. It doesn't really make sense to me. He loses a close fight to Sterling and then fires him. And then Merab posted a video today. I don't know if you saw it. He was like,
yeah,
he had him, and he's like, he's my new coach. And Eric's like, oh man, like, it was pretty funny. So I guess Eric's still there at the event, but he's not going to be with.
Yeah, for Costa.
Oh, Paul Costa. That's right. Yeah. A couple other comments. We got Glenn, I missed your comment. This is the other Glenn. I missed your comment in the other chat. Apologies for that. Alex, what's up, man? What's up, Michael? All right, I think we get into it, Marcel. I say we get into it. Like I said, I think this.
Yeah, she's already waiting for 2 minutes, man.
I know, dude. It's all oiled up and lubed up and ready to go. So
Jesus!
Let's start it off. I know, right? Well, we started it. Of course, we have the ladies kicking off the card too, which is pretty funny. No, I'm kidding. No, we have 12 fights. I'm going to use the order from best fight or from UFC stats. Fight odds or from best fight odds. So. Let's get into it. First fight of the night, women's flyweight bout. Andrea Lee taking on Miranda Maverick. Odds for this one. You got Fear the Maverick favorite here. -185. Andrea Lee +160. Marcel, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, let's be really honest, man. Andrea Lee hasn't been looking great as of lately. You know, at least against Natalia Silva wasn't good. The Macy Barber fight, yeah, she maybe even won that, man.
I thought she won that fight.
Yeah. And the Viviane Araújo fight, she looked good in the first round. She knocked her down, but she lost the second and third. If you look at Miranda Maverick, she did very well against Priscilla Cachoeira, and I picked Cachoeira as an upset in that fight, so well done by her. She didn't look good against Jasmine, just vicious. Before that, wins against Young and Mazo. She honestly only lost to really good girls, man, in the division against Blanchfield, against Barber, and the fight she actually won against Barber as well, actually, and just the division. So both girls lost to Barber and fights they maybe should have won. You know, I'm picking Maverick here, man. I think Maverick wins the decision. I think she with her ground game probably.
Yeah, no, I like her too. I think Maverick wins this fight. I can't pick Andrea Lee, guys. I know she's fought competitive fights against good fighters. I get that, but she's losing. She's lost 6 of her last 8 fights. You know, and like not all these girls are that good. Like Roxanne Modafferi, like Joanne Wood, they're not that great, and she lost to them. When she's on, she looks pretty good, but I think one thing that really sticks out obviously is the 54% takedown defense. That's just below average, and I think Miranda, she's averaging 2.5 takedowns a fight. She should be able to get her down and grind her out in this fight, and win the decision. So I'm thinking Miranda Maverick wins on points here. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. You said decision too. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. I think this fight's going over the 2.5 rounds. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got welterweights Oban Elliott taking on Val Woodburn, and this is to me this is almost like a contender series fight. This is kind of like not even UFC caliber in my opinion, to be honest with you. We got Oban Elliott, big favorite, minus 290, Val Woodburn plus 235. Wow, the odds are really long. I'm a little surprised by that. What do you think about the odds for this one? Val Elliott's one of the biggest favorites. I think he is Elliott's second biggest favorite in the card behind Rinya Nakamura. I mean, I don't know about that. What do you think?
Should be a lot closer, in my opinion, but I want to hear your pick first before I'm going to start on this.
I'm still going to pick the guy. I can't pick Val Woodburn based on what I saw, but again, it was against Bo Nickel. He got knocked out in 30 seconds, right? But the thing is, if you look at his fights in the regional scene, it's like, yeah, he won those fights, but the guys he's fighting are not that great, So I really don't know what to think of him. At the same time, though, I don't know what to think about Elliott either. I mean, the guy was kind of getting his butt kicked and came back and won that fight, right? And he's been knocked out twice too. He doesn't have a great record. I don't think a lot of his wins are by decision. He doesn't really have a lot of power. I don't really know what to think about this fight. I think there's a possibility for an upset. I would not bet on this fight. There's no way I'm betting on this. I'll pick Elliott just because, again, he is the favorite here. He should win the fight, but dude, there's no way in hell would they minus 290 on this dude. No way in hell. What do you think, man?
Yeah, the crazy odds in my opinion. Also take in mind that Val Woodburn goes back to welterweight for this one. This fight against Nickel was at middleweight, so it might be different. Man, why not? I mean, I'm thinking I'm going with Woodburn, maybe with an early stoppage, early knockout. I think there is value there, in my opinion. If it goes longer, probably Elliott, but man, why not? Why wouldn't I do it?
I don't really blame you. I mean, the thing is, the odds are so wide, and this guy, he's got a puncher's chance.
That's what I mean.
So, yeah, there's definitely a possibility he can win the fight. It's just not something that really interests me that much, but I don't know. We'll go to the next fight here. We got Josh Quinlan taking on Danny Barlow, and the odds for this one have Danny Barlow as the favorite, obviously. He is minus 198, Josh Quinlan plus 164. I'll just start on this. I like Barlow a lot. I think left-handed God knocks out Josh Quinlan. Josh Quinlan's a guy that I don't really know what to think about this guy anymore. He gets, the positive drug test that worries me. And, in the UFC, he did knock out Jason Witt, but Jason Witt's got no chin. Trey Waters, it was an upset. It wasn't a good look. He hasn't fought in a while. Barlow's got an undefeated record. He's got crazy knockout power. He looked really good in contender. He's got some pretty good wrestling. And one of the things I like about this guy, huge reach for this division, 79-inch reach, 6'2" for welterweight. I mean, there's a lot to like about him physically too. I've been following him for a while because he's been fighting on the regional scene for Spectation Sports. So I followed his career for a while. I think he follows me on Twitter too. So I've been aware of this guy for a while. He's definitely a good prospect. And I think he's going to have a good debut here, man. I think he actually knocks this guy out, Josh Quinlan. And I think he'll be in the running for a bonus. Probably won't get it because he's so early on the card stacked, but I think he'll get a knockout here. So I'm pretty confident in Danny Barlow getting the knockout. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I'm also on Danny Barlow in this one. I'm not as confident as you are, but I also going with him by stoppage in the first or second round. I think I think it's the most possible that he gets the finish by knockout. I wasn't really Quinlan, not a bad fighter at all, but that Trey Waters fight was really bad, man, in my opinion. I also go with Danny Barlow in this one.
Right.
By the way, the most English name on the card isn't English. Danny Barlow.
That's funny. A couple of comments here talking about Woodburn, and I don't think it goes over. I think it probably ends in some distance, to be honest with you. Yeah, the pay-per-view's good. You guys put in the fight. Yeah, I bet. Marcel, I don't think does, but do a bit. Octagon updates. Danny, yeah, the regions are insane. Last two chapters of UFC 200 Saturday about to be insane. Absolutely. I agree. 298, 299. Well, I guess it's just two more, actually, Antoine, when you think about it. 297 is done. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. We got Zhang Mingyang taking on Brendson Ribeiro. Odds for this one have Mingyang is favored here. He is minus 130, plus 110 on Brendson Ribeiro. Sorry, or Ribeiro, I should say. What do you think, Marcel, about this one?
Yeah, man, Whaley's younger brother. No, I'm just kidding. They just have the same last name. Yeah, Zhang Mingyang, who was supposed to fight earlier, right? I think he got 2 fights canceled against Brendson Ribeiro, actually, and against Tyson Pedro. He got that win at Road to UFC against Tukutakos, right, in the first round by knockout, and that got him a contract. He's fighting Brendson Ribeiro, who had a great win over Bruno Lopez, man, in the Contender Series last year. He was an underdog in that fight, and he knocked him out in the first round. The thing is, like, it's difficult, this one, to be really honest, man. I think Zhang looked good, but man, for some reason, I don't know, man. I feel more safe to go with Brendson Ribeiro, you know. And yeah, I'm going with Brendson Ribeiro. I think he knocks him out early. KO Brendson Ribeiro.
This I'll be honest, this is the one I'm going back and forth on the most on this one. I mean, I just think this is a really hard fight to call. I really do, because my initial thought was Ribeiro too, because man, that was a nice knockout against Bruno Lopez. He's a huge underdog in that fight, right? And he's fought like better competition, I think. I didn't really know much about Zhang. I watched the tape on the guy. Yeah, I watched the tape on Zhang, and I mean, you saw the knockout of
yeah.
I mean, it was, the referee was way too late to stop that. I'll tell you that. But it was vicious, right? And then I watched his other tape, and like the guy's definitely got a really good ground game. If you get to there, he just beats the shit out of dudes on the ground. Walked forward, a lot of pressure, young guy, a lot of experience. Been fighting since he was 16 years old. So there is some stuff to like about him. He is very hittable, though, which worries me. Obviously, he's been knocked out a couple times here, and that worries me. But at the same time, Ribeiro also has been knocked out a couple times, and he also is a guy that gets hit a lot. And one thing I noticed in his fights, he gets taken down, beat up a lot too. So I don't know, man. This is a really tough fight to call. My initial lean was Ribeiro, but after I did some of the tape study, I'm not saying I like Zhang. I wouldn't bet on him here. I wouldn't bet on this fight at all. This is a really tough fight to call. I'm leaning Zhang just a little small bit, Marcel, and it's like a 51% chance for me. So this fight can go either way. I mean, I think someone's getting knocked out. I think the knockout prop for either guy, like inside the distance, is a good bet here. I don't think this fight goes very long. I think this fight probably ends in the first round. I'll take Zhang by knockout, but I'm not betting on it. I'm not confident in it. It's someone's getting knocked out. I'll just say that for sure. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. We got Rinya Nakamura taking on Carlos Vera. On to this one, Rinya, like I alluded to, is the biggest favorite of the card. Rinya Nakamura is minus 1350, Vera plus 800. I mean, yeah, the guy's going to win, obviously. This is a setup fight for this dude. The UFC likes this guy. I think he was supposed to fight, was it Brady Highstand?
Brady, yeah.
That would have been a more competitive fight, but I think he would have won that too. But I mean, this guy is very good. I mean, there's no doubt. He's very, very good. And I think this guy's going to have a good career in the UFC. And he's fighting a guy here in Carlos Vera who's he's 36 years old, making his debut. I mean, you don't see it that often. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. I don't really think he should be in the UFC. And I think he gets smoked in this fight. I think Nakamura probably finishes him. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, man, he's fucking older than me. Yeah, I think Rinya Nakamura wins. I think he knocks him out in the first round. That's what I think. Yeah. Not even with the wrestling, I think he just knocks him out.
I think he gets knocked out too, dude. And the odds are obviously long, like I said, guys, but it's kind of justified in this case. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. We got a heavyweight bout, Marcos Rogerio de Lima against Justin Tafa. Odds for this one have de Lima is favored minus 142, Tafa plus 120. I'll start you off on this one too. Go ahead, Marcel.
Yeah, Rogerio de Lima is going to wrestle probably against Tafa. There's a possibility that Tafa knocks him out if he comes in, and he is not like he comes in against Derek Lewis, But no, I'm gonna go with Lima here. De Lima, I think he makes it a boring fight. He makes it a shit break, so probably 15 minutes, and he wins unanimous decision. That's what I think.
It's definitely possible, but I will say, Tafa has never been taken down in the UFC. He has 100% takedown units. Now he hasn't really fought wrestlers.
Yeah,
fighting strikers. So I don't know how much you can really take for it, but it is something just to think about. He hasn't been officially taken down yet. DeLima is also 38 years old, so he's a lot older than Tafa, and Tafa's got crazy power. DeLima's coming off a knockout loss. I'm looking at the dog here, man. I think Tafa can knock him out. I really do. I think DeLima's the better fighter overall, but I think Tafa's got more power. And yeah, it's a dog pick for me, plus 120 dog. So I'm leaning Tafa in this fight, guys. I like him to get the knockout here. Honestly, if you're gonna bet on, you might as well take him by knockout because I don't think there's any way he wins the decision. He's been hot lately. He's won, three straight fights, and we had the no contest in between, but all these knockouts. And the thing is, like, I look back at that Vandera fight. It was 3 years ago. He's grown from that. He's still only 20. He's 39. He's 39. He's turned 30, but still, I mean, he's not like super old compared to DeLima's 38, and he's been around a long time, and he's been coming off a knockout loss here. DeLima's a good fighter. This might look like that Waldo Cortez Acosta fight where, like you said, he wrestled him and won the decision, but I don't know, man. I'm thinking Tafa can get the job done, so I'll go with the dog here, Marcel. I was kind of hoping we'd have a consensus pick, but I totally understand your pick on that one. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. This is the prelim featured bout. We have Mackenzie Dern taking on Amanda Lemos. The odds for this fight are very close. Minus 130 on Lemos, plus 110 on Mackenzie Dern. I don't understand why the odds are so close on this one, Marcel. I know Lemos has been submitted. I get it. Andrade submitted her. I know Zhang out wrestled her, but to me, you have to fade Mackenzie Dern coming off that last fight with the 4 knockdowns against Andrade, getting brutally knocked out, showing zero head movement, zero striking defense, poor boxing skills, taking on a girl in Lemos who can knock her head off, who's got brutal kicks, who has nasty ground game too. I know Lemos is older; she's 36, but like to me, she's still really good. Like I still think she's a good fighter, and the fact she didn't get finished by Zhang is kind of impressive in a way. I know she got wrestled in that fight, but still, like to me, Marcel, like I think Lemos knocks out Dern. I really like Lemos in this fight. I don't understand why the odds are so close. A lot of money's coming on Dern. I guess people think she's going to take down Lemos and submit her, but for me, Dern, 14% takedown accuracy. Her wrestling's not very good. So, yeah, she can grab an arm or whatever, get her down. She's often done that. I get that, but like, man, the striking defense, the chin, they all worry me. I think there's just a lot about Mackenzie Dern that really worries me and bothers me about this fight. So, especially also short notice too, right? I think for Lemos, she was supposed to fight Suarez. That fight would have been her getting taken down at will. But this fight's different. Dern is not that caliber of wrestler, and I think she gets her head clocked off here. So Lemos by knockout, Marcel. I feel good about it. What do you think, man?
I'm not as convinced as you are, to be really honest.
Fair enough. I want to hear why. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's a much closer fight for the simple reason that if Mackenzie get her to the ground, and it's a big if, of course, but if she can get her to the ground, I think Lemos will have trouble on the ground, But what happened? If it happens, it has to be in the first round, probably. After that, I favor Lemos. I'm also going for Lemos, but I'm going with a decision win. I think she wins 2 out of the 3 rounds.
There you go. All right. That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
I'm always fair, dude. I'm always fair.
She's turning 30. I think she's 36 right now. She's turning 37.
Yeah, she's 36.
Yeah. So she is an older fighter. There's no doubt about it, but she's still good, I think, guys. Honestly, like she destroyed Marina, Michelle, and now those are, they're also in their 30s. And still, I mean,
she hung on with Sang Wei Li in their last fight, so and it wasn't that bad. She lost, but she had her moments in that fight.
I agree. What do you think about under 2.5? I think she knocks her out, or Dern submits her. Yeah, Dern. I don't think Dern would just wrestle her for 3 rounds. I don't think so. I just don't think she's got that. I know she did show it against Angela Hill, and that was kind of the fight where I'm like, holy shit, maybe Dern is like really good, but the last fight showed me she's not there, and I don't think so. Right? Her boxing coach. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I mean, to me, that was a huge red flag with the last fight. And I had Dern in that fight, and when she showed up in her corner without Jason Perillo, her boxing coach, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And she got her head boxed off, dropped 4 times, guys. Like, you have to fade someone coming off 4 straight knockdowns, I think. The odds are close, not sure why it's 120 here in Dern. Yeah, I mean, they think people think she's going to get submitted or taken down, Lemos. I get it, because, again, Zhang did do that to her. I get that. And what's her takedown defense? It's 55%. It's bad. It is. I just think it's a different matchup because Zhang's takedown accuracy, guys, is 42%. Okay, she takes down girls almost half the time she attempts takedown. But Mackenzie's is 14%. That's really bad. That's like really low. So I just don't think she has the pure wrestling to do this like the whole time. So we'll see what happens though. we'll go to the next fight here. We're moving on to the main card. Awesome. Okay, so we got Fluffy Hernandez taking on Roman Kopylov, one of my favorites in the middleweight division. I love this fight, Marcel. Great opening main card fight. Fluffy minus 218, plus 180 on Roman. What do you think, Marcel?
Yeah, man. This, in my opinion, is the most difficult fight to pick on the main card. Because I think it's like kind of two styles. You got Roman, who had a really bad start in the UFC, and now he's on a very nice streak. You got Anthony Hernandez, who also has a pretty nice streak now with 4 wins back to back. Started also difficult manner in the UFC with 2 losses in his first 3. But after that Rodolfo Vieira submission, he got some good wins, and definitely the Barrio and Shabazian stoppages were really good. He's now fighting Kopylov, was supposed to fight Adeskarov. Man, I think that if Roman wants to win, he probably has to knock him out early, because I think Hernandez will weather the storm, and he tries to get it to the ground. I think he's better on the ground than Kopylov. I'm going with Hernandez by decision, man.
You know what, man? I love Kopylov. I absolutely love this guy. I mean, I've been betting on him, guys. He's an unbelievable striker. He does so much damage, and that would be his path to victory here, just to do a lot of damage and keep the fight standing. And on paper, the takedown defense is amazing, 92%. But again, you look at who he's been fighting. It's like, I know on paper, Friend is a good wrestler, but he really didn't, have much success in that fight. And I just feel like Anthony Hernandez is a different fighter. Anthony Hernandez, very good wrestler, very good cardio. He's won 4 straight fights, a lot of momentum coming into this fight. Unlimited cardio. That's what I like about him. Guys, Anthony Hernandez averages 6.79 takedowns per 50 minutes. I mean, that has got to be one of the highest rates in the UFC. His last 3 fights, he took down Edmund 6 times. He took down Barrio 8 times. He took down Friend 8 times. I mean, that's impressive. And then Park, he took down 6 times in his wins. The Rodolfo Vieira loss, or win, I should say, wasn't a loss. He won that fight. He got taken down. He was getting beat up, and then obviously showed the amazing cardio. I like Kopylov. Obviously, Hernandez has been chin checked before by Kevin Holland. Kopylov does a lot of damage. I really like this guy. I think he's unbelievable at striking, and I've been betting on him, but I just can't take him in this fight. I think that Hernandez gets him down and grinds him out. I'm not sure. Do you say submission or decision? What do you think?
I'm going with decision.
Yeah, I think so too, but I think there's a chance he could sub him too. I like Hernandez in this fight, guys. I think it's a decent spot for him. And he also had the full camp Kopylov short notice here too as well. Fluffy was supposed to fight Ikram Alskirov originally, and I think that fight would have been a tougher one for him. Don't get me wrong, Kopylov's a tough fight for anyone. I mean, the guy's striking is brutal, and again, on paper, his takedown defense is really good, but I don't think it's going to matter in this fight because I think Hernandez just the unlimited gas tank. He's just going to continually be looking to take him down. Also, he is a California guy. He's fighting his hometown here, basically, so I think he'll have a lot of support as well. I like Fluffy to win this fight. Let's go here. No, I mean, on paper, Blake, it's 92%. On paper, it's amazing, but I'm just not sure because the guys he's fighting are mostly strikers, except for Friend. Friend is a wrestler, but Friend's not very good either. Friend's not very good. That's the thing. How much does a short camp affect Roman? I think a little bit. He had a couple weeks. It wasn't like a 1 week thing like some of these other guys, but it wasn't a full camp. Like I think Anthony's been training for 3 months, right? I think Kopylov's had about a month maybe, Marcel.
Yeah, I think got announced during the Strickland Duplessis fight around then. So.
That's right. Yeah, in this fight, I think as finish as possible. I'm thinking sub. I'm thinking it, but I think decision sub, something like that. Yeah, I mean he's looked good. There's no doubt about it. His wrestling's improved. I think so. I mean this fight will tell us a lot because if he can keep this fight standing and outstrike, if he can keep it standing, he'll win the fight. I mean there's no doubt, right? Because the striking's way better, but it'll just show us a lot about this guy. If he can keep this fight standing and outstrike Hernandez and beat Hernandez, who's an amazing wrestler and unlimited cardio, that would show that Roman's like top 10 potential, I think. I just don't know yet. I think the guy's great. I love his striking, but I'm just not convinced. So let's go to the next fight here. We got Merab Dvalishvili taking on Henry Triple C Cejudo. On to this one, we have Merab's minus 198, Triple C plus 164. Marcel, your thoughts on this fight?
I keep saying it, man. Merab should still be undefeated in the UFC. Good fighter. Crazy. How many takedowns he attempted to Piotr 49?
I want to say it was like 49 or something. Let me double check though. But I think
crazy.
It's the most of all time. He went 11 for 49.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. The same thing is like if you have to do 49 takedowns, it pretty much means that you don't control the fighter on the ground. Um, the thing is with Merab, he's like a Duracell kind of guy. He got that battery, he keeps going, and he never slows down. And the thing is, like, I think with the pressure against Henry, I think if Henry wins the fight, he probably has to knock him out. How crazy that sounds, for a former Olympic champion, gold medal wrestler.
I know.
I'm going with Dvalishvili, man. I think he wins a decision in this one. 3 rounds, he can keep up the how do we say that, the speed for 3 rounds, the pace, yeah. And Henry can knock him out. He can catch him. Don't get me wrong. But I think like the pace, what you say, it will be crazy high. I think. Plus, I think Merab has the advantage that the last fight from his training partner Sterling of the Cejudo. Last fight was Sterling, which is his training partner. So he gets, like, how do you say that, more info. All these other guys who fought Cejudo before or whatever, it's like 3-4 years ago. But the most fresh fight was against his training partner. So yeah, I think that is a big advantage as well.
Yeah, I tend to agree on this one. I'm leaning towards Merab as well, just because, again, the pace, the cardio is ridiculous, and he's been so much more active than Henry. I really don't know what version of Henry's going to get. That being said, man, on paper, it's not a bad matchup for Henry, really, because he theoretically should have the wrestling to kind of neutralize Merab, right? I don't know if I'm going to bet on this fight because, like, again, my lean is Merab for sure, but it's just like, I don't know. There's still some questions I think about Merab. I think. Remember that fight with Marlon Moraes, guys, like 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I should say.
Almost
he was getting destroyed. And obviously, Marlon gassed himself out, and then he got finished himself. But what happens if Henry keeps it staying? He's the better striker. He's got more power, right? So, and he's a former champ. Like, don't completely sleep on this guy. That fight with Aljamain Sterling was a very close fight. It was very, very close. You have a different set of judges. He might be the champ right now. So don't sleep on this guy. I'm with you, though. I have to pick Merab. The pace, the pressure, like, it's hard to ignore it. But this is an interesting matchup. I think it's the perfect matchup, really, to tell us how good he is. Because if he beats Henry Cejudo, then he should be fighting for the belt. It'd be 10 straight wins. It'd be really hard to ignore that. I mean, obviously, the guy's not very exciting as a fighter. I think his social media game's really good. He's definitely hilarious. He's definitely doing a good job there. But he's trying to market himself like that, which is smart, because I don't think his fighting style is very exciting. But the guy's good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So I have to pick him. Some comments. Merab should be fighting O'Malley. Yeah, I mean, he should be, but they want to do that big fight with Cheeto. But that was Merab. You like Merab, Marcus. Marcus liked him against, was it Peter Don? I think you liked him against. He was the underdog in that fight, right? Against
yeah.
Peter, yeah. Henry's looking washed. I mean, is he? I mean, he lost a split decision to the former champ. I don't know if that's fair to say. And he won 6 straight fights before that. So I don't know if that's fair to say he's washed. I mean, but again, he hasn't been fighting very much. He's got different priorities. I think he's got 1 or 2 kids now. He's married now. It's just different priorities. So it's different. It's a different version of Cejudo, but you never know. That could motivate him somewhat too. Do you guys think Henry Cejudo retires with a loss? I think so. If he loses Marcel, I'm pretty sure he'll retire again. He's only retired once, right?
And he comes back 2 years later. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see.
That's the thing. He retired at the top of his game, guys. He knocked out Dominic Cruz and then retired. That was that fight where Keith Peterson smelled like cigarettes and alcohol, right? That was like Cruz was saying. Remember that?
Yeah, Pete Peterson.
Did I say that? My bad.
No, you said it well. I was just being joking.
Okay. I think it goes 3 rounds too, probably. I mean, but if Cejudo wins, he might knock him out. Anyways, go to the next fight here. We have a really fun welterweight bout between Ian Machado, Garry, and Geoff Neal, hands of steel. Odds for this one have Machado, Garry, minus 225, Geoff Neal plus 185. I'll start with you, Marcel. I know you're a big Geoff Neal fan. What do you think about this matchup for him, though?
It's a fun matchup, I think. Let's talk first about Geoff Neal. He had those issue with his health. That's why he pulled out against Garry the first time in August, I think it was, or it was in September. I don't know anymore. But yeah, he's a good fighter. He has a great stand up. He was the toughest fight for Shavkat Romano so far in the UFC. And many people forget he got a win over Bilal Muhammad, years ago. And that was a really good show back then, showing. You look at Garry, Gary's decent, man. He has a lot of talent, I feel, but yeah, I'm not really a big fan of his persona, as you know. But he has talent, He looked good against Neal Magny. Should have finished him, I think. I felt like he wanted to play with him and didn't want to finish the fight, but he should have. Before that, good win over Daniel Rodriguez, that head kick, which knocked him out. Before that one, and that's the one that I think is tricky, is the one against Sankanan, right?
Yeah.
He got almost knocked out in the first round by Sankanan. He got knocked down, and Sankanan went for a fucking submission. I was like, dude, you could have finished him there. He didn't, and then Garry came back and finished him in the third round. That's it. If he plays that same game against Geoff Neal with his chin up, Geoff Neal knocks him out. I really think Geoff Neal knocks him out if he does that. If he doesn't do it, if he stays composed, if he takes a distance, and he plays smart, he can win the decision, I think. But hey, why the hell wouldn't I go with Geoff Neal? Geoff Neal's the underdog in this fight, I think, right? So we're hitting the button. I'm going Geoff Neal first round knockout. I think that's a good underdog pick. If it goes past the first round, I think Garry likely wins the decision or finishes Geoff late, but I don't think that will happen. I think it will either be a decision for Garry or a knockout for Neal. So I'm going with Neal KO first round.
I still want to see Neal win this fight. I still want to see him win just because, like, everything Ian was saying. I don't know, man. The guy's been rubbing me the wrong way. At the same time, though, I mean, I'm picking this guy for all his fights, and, like, I think he's good. I mean, I think he's super technical. I call him Mr. Clean because he's just so technical with his fight.
First time I pick against him, by the way.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I was so close. Like, I actually originally wrote down Neal, and I kind of looked at it a little bit more, and I'm like, I just gotta still go with Garry by decision here, but it's the tough fight to call, honestly. Like, the value's on Geoff Neal, I would say, but I just think, like, Ian, I think he's a good striker, man. I don't like his personality. But I gotta put that aside when I look at this. I just kind of feel like it could look kind of like the fight with. I know he's not the caliber of Wonderboy. I get that. It's not even close, but I still think he can kind of maintain distance and just kick him a lot and just stay at distance here. And win decision on points. But again, I would love to see him get knocked out, man. It just would be awesome, honestly. So for me, it's a pass from a bet. And I don't blame you for taking Geoff Neal because I think he's got a chance to knock out this guy, especially that Sankanan fight. It's hard to get out of your mind. I do want to get some comments here, guys. We've got our boy Art here in the chat. We had Art a podcast a couple weeks ago talking about the Henry and Merab fight, but I want to get his comments here. He said he's going to fade Garry and Neal's the best striker. I tend to agree. I'm praying for Neal. A lot of you guys want to see Neal get the knockout here, so I think it's very possible. That fight with Sankanan, it definitely worries me. But I will say this though, like, I was like, man, this guy's not that good, and then he came back and destroyed the dude after that. So, like, maybe that woke him up. I don't know. In the last two fights, he won dominantly. Like, I think the Neal Magny fight, I mean, it was kind of a bad look that he didn't finish the fight, but I think you said, Marcel, yourself, like, he was trying to punish Neal for, like, those comments he made about the whipping his kid or whatever. Like, he's kind of punishing him in a way. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it.
I felt that way, but
a lot about Garry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I felt that way. Yeah, but it kind of annoyed me. I mean, Neal didn't do anything wrong to him. And now the thing is, like, he lost to pick at people, but now he's playing the victim with, I'm very how do you say that? I'm afraid for my family's safety. It's like, dude, fuck off. It's like, do you really think that some people are going to attack your family? Yeah, they maybe talk shit, but they're really not going to do anything physical, So, I mean, if you dish, how do you say that? If you dish it out, you gotta get real to accept it, And let's be honest, how many gyms this dude has been? He's now at Charles Oliveira. Yeah, at Shoot the Box now. He's been thrown out of so many gyms.
Yeah, he's not well liked by his training partners. I'll say that. I agree, but at the same time, I think he's a good fighter.
Oh, yes, I don't doubt that. I never doubt that.
For sure. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got the co-main event. Robert Whittaker taking on Paulo Costa. Odds for this one, Whittaker is favored here. Minus 225, Costa plus 185. I'm taking Whittaker. I don't think he's washed by any means. I know DDP destroyed him, but DDP's the champ now. DDP's a great fighter. I don't think that shows anything. I mean, Rob pretty much looks amazing against anyone except for the elite guys. I mean, really, like, and Izzy, even that last fight with Izzy was super competitive. Like, he's still right there. the chin's probably going a little bit at this point in his career. He's 34 now. He's getting, or 33, I should say. But he's had a lot of fights. I think the chin's going to go. But Costa, he just doesn't do for me, dude. He barely fights. He fights like once a year. It's his first fight in 2 years. He pulls out of all these fights. I think he's definitely a tough dude. He's definitely got power. But I think Whittaker just takes it to him and beats him up. That's what I think. I think Whittaker will fight smart, stay at range, use that kind of, elusive style here and win on points. That's kind of what he does now. Whittaker wins on points. I think that's what happens here. Whittaker by decision. I think that's the safe pick here, I think. What do you think?
I have literally zero reason to pick Paulo Costa in this fight, Zero. Yeah, a puncher's chance. That's pretty much it, I think he has more power. But, what was the best win from Paulo Costa in the UFC? Likely Joel Romero, and that was a close fight, He won against Luke Rockhold 1.5 years ago. I still don't know how that fight got fight on the night. I really don't. It wasn't a great fight, in my opinion. Costa's more active on social media than he is in the cage, man. And something that really bothered me was his fight against Marvin Vettori when he came on too heavy in fight week, agreed on a catch weight, and then still went to 205. And Marvin was like, I don't give a shit. I accept the fight. And he beat Paulo Costa. And that same Marvin Vettori got dominated again by Robert Whittaker, And I know MMA Matt doesn't work all the time, but like I said, I have no reason to pick Paulo Costa in this fight. So we're going Robert Whittaker by decision as well. That's the way he wins. So yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. California strict with the weight cuts. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind too. They have like that, it's like a ceiling almost on how much you can cut. Or
by the way,
channel, which is totally cool. What are you gonna say? Go ahead.
Don't you think that Merab against Cejudo should be co-main event?
It could be. I just don't think they like to promote Rob that much. I don't think the UFC. Yeah. It's a tough. He's a tough guy to promote because he's a good fighter, but he's just not exciting, really. Other than that fight with Moraes.
Yeah.
Tristan, we talked about this in the last podcast. You missed it. And by the way, Tristan, good to see you again, man. We had Alex Bahunin on. He says he hasn't heard anything. So we had him on the last show, but again, we don't know.
Plus, Kamzat said in a reply to somebody on Instagram that he's not going to fight on Ramadan. So
I agree with this too. That would have been a good fight. Costa and Hamza would have been a good fight. Too bad it didn't happen. You like Costa? Okay, there we go. We got a Costa pick here. Are we overlooking him? I don't know. Maybe. The guy just doesn't fight. It's just hard for me to know. And also more so, I don't think the fight with Luke Rockhold was impressive at all. I don't know how that one fight of the night.
Yeah, that's what I said. I still don't understand that. That fight, I don't want to be too hard. That fight sucked.
They were sucking wind. It was the elevation thing fucked them up. I get that, but I don't know, man. That fight wasn't the most impressive fight. That fight of the night, it wasn't the best card,
If Paulo Costa fights like that against Luke Rockhold from 6 years ago, he fucking loses that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Appreciate it, Art. Like I said, Art's doing a great job with fighting stats. All right, we'll go to the main event here, guys. We have Alexander Volkanovski taking on Elliott Topuria for the UFC featherweight title. And the odds for this fight have Volkanovski and Topuria. Volkanovski minus 120, Topuria plus 100, so almost a pick 'em. I think it's it's the closest line fight in the card. So according to the odds, it's the closest fight in the card. I'll let you start, Marcel. What do you think? Who wins the title?
Elliott Topuria is going to win, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll hit the button because you're digging a dog. You might as well hit it.
So I'll tell you why I think that. Many people are like, Volk is not washed. Why you fade him? I don't think he's washed at all. I think he's still very good, And but I really have high expectations from Elliott the moment he signed with the UFC. I've been following him for such a long time, and I always thought he was amazing. He got one bad moment in the UFC where he got robbed by Jai Herbert, at lightweight in England, but he still won that fight. He knocked him out. I just think listen, Topuria really good on the ground, black belt, BJJ. Many people think more of him as a striker because of his last couple of fights. Yeah, I know he submitted a Price, but he knocked down Price as well, I think. But and he knocked out Damon Jackson and he knocked out Ryan Hall. So, and I know it's not the same level of competition that Volk had, obviously, But sometimes you have people in a certain weight class who are coming up that you really have high expectations of. I had that with more guys. And the funny thing is, like, many people are upset that he has put champion in his Instagram account, right? That he's champion, which, yeah, maybe kind of disrespectful to Volk. I understand that, At the same time, I remember John Jones before the Shogun fight, in 2011, where he signed merchandise with Champ 2011. He was also sure that he was going to win. It's also disrespectful to Shogun, but he was sure. And this guy has the same kind of attitude about his self-belief. Is he as good? I don't say that. I don't want to compare those two with each other. But I think he's really good, man. He's really complete kind of guy, in my opinion. And Volk, yeah, I mean, Volk is great, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the fight, don't get me wrong. But, man, I think Ilya touches him. I think Ilya knocks him down in the second round, and he submits him. So it's maybe crazy that people are like, oh, Volk cannot be submitted. Look at what Ortega did. Yeah, but as already say, he knocks him down. So he's tagged. He's kind of dizzy already. So a little bit like Makhachev against Oliveira, like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Topuria by submission second round for me, man.
Wow. I mean, I love Topuria too. Don't get me wrong; he's a great fighter, man. And I've said for a while that he could be a champion. I just think that we're kind of writing off Volkanovski a little bit too soon. The odds are so closer. It wouldn't even surprise me if flips and Volk's the underdog at the end. I still have to go with Volk. I understand that the last fight was a bad look. I get that, right? He gets head kicked by Islam and gets knocked out. But like, are we forgetting what he did to Islam a year ago? And that it was like a year ago yesterday. He gave all he had to Islam in a fight up a weight class. People were calling him the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. And then he goes in there against Yair and destroyed Yair Rodriguez. And he destroyed Max Holloway 3 times. Destroyed everyone he's fought at 145. Destroyed everyone. I'm not really willing to write him off just yet, even though he did get knocked out a few months ago. That's the only thing that bothers me, is that it was so recent. If this was like a few extra months of recovery, I'd like him even more here. But I don't know. I mean, I like Topuria a lot. I think he's amazing. I just don't know. This is a big step up to me. Going from guys like Mitchell and Emmett, they're good. They're very good, but they're not Volkanovski good. I think Volk can win this fight. I think he can win on points. I think it'll be a close fight. I think it'll be a tough fight. I think the odds are showing that. But, I think he gets the job done. I think Volk is going to show why he's the champ, why he's one of the greatest fighters of all time, because I think he is one of the greatest fighters of all time. I think he if he's looking at his UFC record, it's unbelievable. And the guys he's fought in the competition he's fought, Marcel, it's just, to me, it's like second to none, really. He's got wins over all the legends. He's got multiple wins over the legends. I don't want at 145. I wouldn't pick against him. So he's my pick. There'll be a day where he gets old and we'll fade him, but I don't think it's yet. Personally, we'll see though. It's going to be an amazing fight. I can't wait for this fight. Anything else you want to say about this fight?
No, man, I think it'll be a good fight, man. I'm looking forward to it. And again, it's not a fade on Volkanovski or whatever. I just think Ilya's that good, and maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. The thing is, it's like difficult to compare, because Volk was in all these title fights, against the top of the division, and Ilya's the up and comer, But there can be a change. We'll see. I think it will be a fun fight, at least,
For sure. By the way, there's a comment here by Marcus, which I like. He said, like, what do you think the odds would be if he didn't get knocked up by Islam? I think he'd be 2-1, probably, minus 200. I think that fight is sketching people out. And I get it. I mean, he got brutally knocked out, right? And it was a few months ago.
I want to add to that I don't pick against Volkanovski because of that fight, by the way.
Yeah, no, you've been on Topuria a long time. And I really like Topuria. Like, I've been on him too. I wasn't sure at first, but after that first fight, I think it was Zalal, I was like, man, this guy's really good. And then obviously he's been starching everyone. But I mean, remember though, I'll say this too. Like, when he fought Jai Herbert, he got dropped too. And that did show to me, I'm not even saying that it's just because he got dropped by the guy, but it just shows that the power difference at 155, right? He did end up knocking out brutally. I get that, but he got head kicked. He got head kicked too, didn't he? I think it was a head kick, right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Right? I think so. So that can happen. That can happen in the sport. And I just don't want to write off Volk too soon. I think he's amazing. Now, man, if he gets knocked out here again, then it's like you have to worry about him then going forward, because there'd be 2 straight knockout losses. But for me, it's still Volk.
Yeah, Pato, the UFC fucked up, dude.
Yeah, they should have. They shouldn't, because Volk he was like drinking beer on the couch basically. He wasn't ready to fight for that belt, and he's one of those guys that doesn't turn the fight down, right? Volk, he's not one of those guys. He's going to take the fight, and he's a guy that likes stay active. He was talking about, he's like, I love staying active. I like fighting. I like making money, and I get that. I mean, that's his job, right? His job is to be a fighter. His job is to make a lot of money, but it obviously wasn't the best decision.
Money.
It could be the turning point of his career. It's possible. We'll see, right? Because like, look at the fight with Usman and Edwards, the second one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember they had 3 fights. The second one where he's winning the whole fight and gets the head kick knocked out, and he has not looked the same since then either. So
yeah, it's true.
You never know, really. Does Evloev fight the winner of the event? I think so, right? Would he title shot?
I think it depends if Topuria wins. I think they will ask Volkanovski. No, I think the Volkanovski ask them. They will ask him if he wants a rematch. Long-sitting champion. And Max is booked against Gaethje. So
that's true. Yeah.
That's the thing. Max can get there. If not, definitely. And they have Ortega fighting Jair. So you don't know. I would say yes to Evloev, but I don't know.
A couple other comments. Marcus likes Merab and Volk for bets. Those guys are winners. Been saying how much you guys will get paid. I don't know, but we'll see. And those salaries are never even real. They're kind of fake sometimes too, anyways, right? They pay them under the table sometimes too. What is the winner out of it? I mean, Whittaker stays in title contention, and Costa. I mean, Costa hasn't fought DDP, so like that would be an interesting fight if it happened, right? I think they can market it because it's two strong looking dudes.
Whittaker stays in title contention, and Costa remains a Twitter phenomenon.
Oh, I got that comment. This is essentially great fighter fights. I agree. All right, I think we're good. We'll take a few other comments if you guys have them. Anything else you wanted to say about this card, Marcel? I mean, it should be a good card, I think, right?
Yeah, I enjoy the fights. I think definitely the main card is really good. Looking forward to this fight. To be really honest, if you would have done this Volkanovski Topuria fight, switch that with O'Malley Vera on the 299, that would be even crazier. 299 would have been even crazier, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. You're not wrong. I'll say that. You're not wrong, my friend. But yeah, if there's any other comments, guys, we'll take them really quick and before we get out of here. Like that. Hit that shit. Smash that shit. We appreciate that. The antitrust lawsuit, I don't know much about it. I'll be honest with you. There's a couple of guys on Twitter that, like John Nash, I think his name is. He's really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
He's with Bloody Elbow. I think he's still with Bloody Elbow. He's really good. John Nash is good. So if you like that stuff, you'd be good. Why is DC not commenting? I don't know. That's surprising to me because obviously it's not far from his home.
I mean, maybe I think Bisping lives in Anaheim.
Maybe Bisping's there too. Yeah, that makes sense too. Yeah, they both are. Well, TC's in San Jose, right? But still not too far. But yeah, Bisping's in LA, right? So what's next for Ankalaev? I don't know because it looks like Hill's going to fight Vera. So I guess Ankalaev would have to wait for the winner, I guess. Fighters who were drinking before their fights are now 1-3. It's not a good thing. I'll say that for sure. Any fighters anything you can give us, Marcel? You got anything?
I'm thinking, do I have anything? Dude, I thought that I had one, and then Nolan scooped it 5 minutes before I wanted to scoop.
What fight was it? Which one?
That was the Ducote against the Demopoulos fight.
Yeah. What card is that? Like fight night card? Apex?
It's on May 18th. It's no location yet.
Okay, maybe they'll go away from the Apex. Hopefully, you guys think about the Umar booking? I mean, I don't care about this fight. Maybe this guy's good. He's fighting. I don't know anything about him. I don't know. Guram has a fight. Guram's got a fight booked.
Yeah, I actually heard about Guram against Ribovic, but Ribovic is fighting Terrence McKinney, so that's not true.
Is that official? Ribovic and McKinney? That's happening?
Yeah, that's on. I checked.
That's a great fight. That's a fun fight. Yeah, they're company men for sure. 299 is the better card, but 290 is still pretty good.
I agree.
Anyways, I think we should get out of here though, Marcel. I'm pretty talked out. Went for 2 hours. As well as
kind of a headache as well, to be honest. When I haven't slept very well the last 2 days, so.
For sure. Just two other comments. I'll get these last couple of comments.
Yeah, sure.
Dana popped up on Super Bowl. I heard about it, but I live in Canada. We get different commercials, so I didn't see it.
I only saw fucking Taylor Swift pop up every 5 minutes, dude.
Of course you did. I'd love to see UFC give money. I mean, I saw him do CFFC with John Morgan, and he did a good job. I thought it was funny. He's a funny guy.
They got to make a gif from that moment where he's like, "Paddy, you're a fucking bitch," and then John Morgan is laughing like this. I don't know if did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. I saw that head kick knockout, that spinning head kick. Or whatever,
I'll send it to you now.
Sure, no problem.
Maybe you can show it on here, man.
Let me get this comment from Carl. So we had Alex Bahunin on, Carl, in the first podcast today. and he hasn't heard anything. The rumor today was that it'd be Leon Edwards and Hamzat Chimaev, but he hasn't heard that. He still thinks it could be DDP and Izzy. I think we'd have an answer by the end of the week. But yeah,
I sent it to you.
Cool. No, I appreciate you guys joining us. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun today, but yeah, we're gonna get out of here, Marcel. I'll watch it as soon as I close the podcast on Marcel. But anything else you want to say, man? Good to go.
Have fun watching the fights, guys. See you next week. Then we do the recap for UFC 298, and we will the preview for UFC Mexico, which is a great card. Looking forward to that. I don't know if it will be on Sunday or on Monday. You guys will see that.
I see the thing now. It's pretty funny. He's just dying laughing. That's so awesome. McDaniel's he's a funny dude, man. I like him a lot. All right, guys. Have a great night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.